Hello, ladies and gentlemen, crypto deep divers. Welcome back to Weekly Crypto. Today, I'm going to talk about the US labor market and the economy as a whole. Also, there's some interesting story about Elon Musk. So before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out the upcoming token stacking or token swap. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, library.tv, and Patreon as well. So for Patreon, I make a video about who is patient zero for the Wuhan coronavirus. And actually, there's a patient zero. There's a whole bunch of rumors about that. If you're interested, join my Patreon group. And also, right now, people have difficulty buying gold and silver. There's certain platform you can still buy gold and silver. If you're interested, you can check out this video. And of course, I talk about the essential vitamins for preventing the coronavirus. And those are based on scientific journal. It's not just out of thin air. So also I talk about the cellular level of the coronavirus, how it get into the human body, and how these essential vitamins can help for preventing the coronavirus. So if you're my Patreon member, you can check the videos out. And so let's talk about the in case you haven't installed the Brave browser, you can check it out. So it blocks advertising. Also, you can serving the internet faster. If you're interested, you can click the link below. Also, it's time to decentralize the internet, especially YouTube. Everything is so centralized right now. And of course, there's huge potential of censorship in YouTube. They, delete video if does not fit their agenda. And of course, the World Health Organization has a meeting with YouTube, Facebook, periodically, right, to control the social media. So join the movement, join the library.tv. You can earn the library token just by joining the library.tv and watching video. If you're interested, you can click the link below. So let's talk about the US labor market. Of course, right now it's in a free fall right now because right now a lot of state, almost probably 90% of the state is in some type of lockdown. And 10 million workers have already filed unemployment in the past 2 weeks. You can see this is the initial jobless claim back in 2008 and 2009 financial crisis. It is in here right now. You can see the jobless claim, the unemployment benefit claim is skyrocketing. This is the initial jobless claim. This is just 2 weeks. 10 million Americans already claiming unemployment benefit. And basically, they lost 46 jobs for every confirmed case of COVID-19 in the US. And of course, California is the highest claiming unemployment benefit, and it's a welfare state, right? There's tons of homeless problem. And basically, it's better to get the welfare rather than going to work. Unfortunately, I don't want to say that, but in a way, some people are abusing the system. But of course, there's a lot of honest people. They want to work. But with the lockdown, the retail business and also the restaurant also closed as well. It affects a lot of workers. And of course, and then this followed by Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Texas. Oops. So the thing is, they're talking about this is potentially if this keep going on, because right now 80% of the Americans under some type of lockdown, the unemployment will jump to 15 to 20% over the next quarter, and that is not good. So with so much unemployment benefit file, and of course with the stimulus plan, all the stimulus money mostly go to the big corporations, the airline, the big banks, and but the thing is right now the media is focused so much on the coronavirus. I think they want the mainstream, want the herds to focus on the coronavirus. At the background, there's a lot of things going on. Maybe remember the Ripple market back in before the coronavirus, they have been printing, right? The Ripple market basically the interbank the interbank transaction, they don't have enough cash basically. So that's why they have Ripple. They are just printing all this money to satisfy the cash settlement between banks. And of course, there's a corporate, bond bubble coming up. We don't know. But the bond market looking a little bit unusual. But anyway, right now there's a lot of things behind the scene that the mainstream media don't want you to know for now, because they want you just to focus on the coronavirus. And in this channel, we always ahead of the game, because I talk about the coronavirus back in probably January, the end of maybe the end of January. I warned about this to my family members, to my friends back in mid-January, and at the time nobody talked about it. People are focusing on the Kobe Bryant's death, and also about the impeachment of Trump. They talk about the whole week, right? And yet nobody talk about the coronavirus and see what happened. And I think I'm one of the earlier YouTubers talk about this, right? I mean, they don't take it seriously, but see what happened right now. And I don't want to speculate on anything. Probably I will put that in my Patreon about this coronavirus. Maybe one of the global plan actually. But anyway, so the U.S. consumer comfort, those index, of course, has suffered the biggest crash. And you can see it go to the lowest level. This is pretty unprecedented. And this is basically a consumer sentiment about the economic fallout. And interestingly, the comfort rating for those without high school degree and part-time workers both rose. Maybe because they will get 1,200 those stimulus package bailout cash, and as well as they can got the unemployment benefit, right? For the middle class in general, they do not get nothing from this. For the middle class, especially in New York or in California, nobody make less than 75,000. Those are a year, those two states is not going to benefit from the 1,200. Is because the cost of living is much higher in those two states, and so the middle class basically do not benefit. It's only benefit the corporations and the big banks, and of course the airline industry. And this is so unfortunate. I mean, and of course the essential workers, right? Essential workers have to go to work every day, and yet they don't get any subsidized pay or differential pay, and they cannot work from home like most of the people, right? The programmers can work from home. The administration can work from home, but the frontline people, the healthcare worker, and maybe the police officer, firemen, those are frontline people, so they cannot work from home, and yet they didn't receive any subsidized pay in the stimulus package, and they did not receive any differential pay, and they basically risking their life without proper equipment. Right now they don't have enough personal protection equipment, the PPE, and they have to reuse their N95 masks. They don't have enough guns. They have to expose themselves to the virus. And I'm not saying that you have to, I mean, they have to compensate those people as well. And in Malaysia, the government subsidized the police and subsidized, I think they have subsidized pay to the police officer as well as the healthcare worker, so they get some type of differential pay. And yet the stimulus package is giving to the big corporations, the airline, and the healthcare workers, essential workers, people who work in the grocery store, also expose themselves, right? There's a lot of hidden spreader in the community, right? So you don't know which customer has coronavirus. You don't know. Basically, you're risking your lives to go to work. Basically, you may potentially expose to coronavirus without without themselves knowing it, and yet those essential worker didn't get subsidized payment from the stimulus package, I guess, and this is so unfortunate. So I mean, all the money go to the big business, and it's not for the middle class. So let me know what you think about this. Do you think the stimulus package is fair? And did you get the stimulus money, 1,200? And as far as I know, a lot of people did not get the 1,200 because I don't know, because they don't meet the requirement. 75,000 or less, right? Anyway. And Elon Musk promised New Yorkers ventilator. He promised to send 1,000 ventilators, and people thinking he is going to use a 3D printer, right? and yet he sent a 5-year-old sleep apnea machine, a BiPAP machine. Seriously, I mean, at the very beginning, he talked about people are dumb, about the panic. People, buy toilet paper and stuff like that. They're calling people panic, they're dumb about this virus, and also he's saying that the kids were essentially immune to the virus. And of course, there's a number of teenagers who are fighting their lives on the ventilators and pass away as well, especially the infants. They are the high risk group, and I think the teenagers are not the high risk group, but then infants, the high risk group, the 40, 50 to 60, especially the 70s, those elderlies are the high risk group. And also Elon Musk went to battle with Alameda County, keeping the Fremont factory open, and yet Tesla and SpaceX employees were contracting the coronavirus. I mean, seriously, he sent out the 5-year-old ventilator. It's not a ventilator. It's a BiPAP machine. Hello. Obviously, he's pretty smart in terms of engineering, in terms of self-driving car, programming, AI, stuff like that. And yet, he doesn't know much about the healthcare, right? He doesn't know much about the ventilator machine. Do you know the difference between BiPAP machine and a real ventilator? Seriously? This is a total disappointment. This is crazy. And those are BiPAP machine, everybody knows is treating sleep apnea. If he cannot do that, just don't tweeting, I'm going to send you 1,000 ventilator. People have high expectation from you, and this is totally disappointment. It's a shameful, and why people, in times of crisis, people are still adding so stupidly. Let me know what you think about this. I would love to hear from you. And if you find this video helpful, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel. Also share with your friends. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out the upcoming token stacking and also an update about the coronavirus. And you can follow me on Twitter, library.tv, and Patreon as well. And remember, crypto deep divers, we the people take control of our money. Stay wise, stay safe, peace. I'm not a financial advisor. Investing in cryptocurrency or other commodity can have inherent risk. Please use your due diligence. I'm not a healthcare provider. If you have any questions or concern about coronavirus, please talk to your doctor.